Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Delaney, and for today's video we're going to be doing a little review. So I recently went to Colourpop's website and I saw these. They're not brand new, but I think it's something that I can use every day, and I loved the packaging, so I really wanted to try it. So we're gonna do a should you buy this with the Colourpop collection. I don't know exactly what the collection is called. They just released these little plastic as I drop it and almost break it. These little babies right here that are in the plastic clear packaging. I thought that it was so cute and so sleek, and I really wanted to give these formulas a try, especially because these look super sparkly. So if you're interested in seeing me testing out some new Colourpop goodies, then keep on watching. So the three things that I got from this little collection, I think they had maybe like 6-ish face palettes, and then they had 6-ish eyeshadow palettes as well. I will pop up the other ones right here so you can see the variety that they actually did have available. I went ahead and grabbed 2 of the eyeshadow palettes and 1 of the face, ooh, I held that upside down, and 1 of the face palettes. So starting off with the face palette, I will pop up the retail price right here for you, but you get 4 different shades in here. I have the extra glazed face palette, and you have 4 different shades right here. So you have 3 blushes and 1 highlighter shade. I will say during shipping, the glue that was holding down this blush did come off and this did pop out. The product is still intact, so I will just be gluing that back in here, but I did want to say that that is a possibility, so don't be alarmed if that happens. But thankfully the product is still okay, so I can still use it. But you have 3 different blushes. You have Smoke and Whistles, which is the highlighter shade. Then you have Pink Velvet. You have Swirled. And then we have Strawberry Strudel. And these are blush shades. And obviously your 1 Super Shock highlighter, which is a beautiful shade, I might add. So this was one of the lighter ones. And they have a bunch of different shade options. So if you are of a different skin tone than I am, I know I'm super pale, so certain shades might work on me and not on other skin tones, but this time Colourpop did come through with a great shade range. So there are a bunch of different options on their website if you'd like to try these out. So I'm going to be testing this little cheek palette out today, as well as these 2 eyeshadow palettes. So these I will pop up the retail for right here. I did go ahead and grab 2 of the pressed pigment shadows, or pressed powder shadows is what they call them on their website. They're eyeshadow palettes, but sometimes with the pigments they have to call them pressed powder shadows. Whatever. So we have Cream Soda, which is the lighter of the 2. It comes with 4 beautiful shades, 2 shimmer sparkly shades and 2 mattes. And these shades are gorgeous. I love the tones of this. It's very neutral, but like a hint of warmth to it. So I really do love it. I have a feeling it's gonna be beautiful on the eyes. I have swatched these and I will be putting up some swatches for you. These sparkly shimmer shades are incredible as a swatch. I'm not sure how they're gonna perform on the eyes just yet, but oh my gosh, are they beautiful when you swatch them. They are actually they're a different formula than I've seen in different Colourpop palettes before. The mattes are really good, but I feel like a lot of Colourpop mattes are really good. So I don't know, that shimmer formula though is impressive. So that was Cream Soda. And then I got a darker one. I really wanted to get a nice range of neutrals. Most of the options are neutral. I think there was only 2 that were kind of colorful, and they were more like, one was a warm toned orangey kind of nude palette, and the other one was a cool toned mauve. And I decided to go with the lighter and darker neutral palettes. So this one is in Sparkler, and also really gorgeous. I feel like also if you have deeper skin tones, this will work beautifully, but I really like some drama in my eye looks, and I have a feeling that this can add that for me. And I can also use these as eyeliners as well, because I love using shadow as liner, and I love these darker, smokier shimmers. So first of all, gold, oh my god, beautiful. And then we have this darker, rich brown shimmer shade. And both of these are also that same really sparkly formula as it was in Cream Soda before that. So again, I will be putting up swatches for you. And then you have these two mattes, one a little bit lighter, one a little bit darker, but these are on the neutral side. So there are two shades in these little palettes that are not intended for use around the eyes, and they have to say that because of the pigments that are used, but you see that a lot in eyeshadow palettes, pressed powder palettes, because they can't technically use the term eyeshadow. But we have Malted, which is this pinky one, I believe. And then Extra Bubbly, this gold one. I believe those are the ones that are not intended for eye use. Let's go ahead and dive into the try-on portion. We are going to be starting off with the face palette because I feel like that's probably easiest. So I went ahead and added foundation, concealer, powder, bronzer, and contour, and this is what we're left with. So the next steps in my makeup routine would be blush and highlight. So let's get on with it. I have tried blushes from Colourpop before, but not from this kind of packaging. They were in the cardboard packaging, which I really do like those. I think they perform really beautifully. So hopefully these perform the same, if not better. I did want to say that when swatching these shades, these two blushes look almost identical. I don't really know if it was needed to have those two really close shades in the same palette, but I will say that this blush right here has a little bit of a sheen to it. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can kind of tell. So this one right here has a little bit of a shine, and the other one is a matte blush. And these are definitely a buildable kind of blush. They do not just right away have a lot of pigment on them, which is fine. I'm okay with that when it comes to blush, especially because you don't want to just go really overboard really fast. And then the highlighter is a Super Shock highlighter, which I was kind of worried about being in a palette with powders. I didn't know how that was going to work. So far, it's been okay. And it performs pretty much the same as my other Super Shock highlighters so far, at least when swatching. So I'm going to start with blush, and I'm going to take this mid-toned one right here without the sheen. I'm going to take the matte one first, and I'm going to take my blush brush, and we're going to start with this one. Okay, so far, it is clinging just a hair to different parts of my skin, but I don't know. I can't tell if that's just the redness underneath, honestly. No, it's not clinging. Maybe it was just the redness of my skin. I'm wearing a medium coverage foundation, so some of that does peek through. But so far, this is really beautiful. It's buildable. All right, I'm gonna use that darker blush, and I'm just gonna go right on the outside to kind of blend in with my bronzer and test it out a little bit. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, this one is really, really powdery. You see that? So be careful. Yeah, that one's really pigmented. I think I went a little bit overboard. It's fine. This is exactly what I was trying to avoid, but it's fine. At least blush is in. Am I right? I don't know. It's pretty. It's really pretty. It's just a lot of blush. So I'm going to try to take that excess and just kind of go all around my face. This shade is way more powdery than this shade. So just be aware of that. I'm going to take this one, which is the one with the blush with a slight shimmer, and I'm just gonna try to go over top of the lighter portion. Ooh, that's pretty. See that sheen that it just added? Okay, yeah, that's pretty. So I've added all three blushes to my face, and this is what you get. I mean, I think it looks really good. It's just really, really, really blushy. I don't know. Would I go this heavy with a blush normally? Probably not, but because I'm reviewing it, why not, you know? But look at the difference. I mean, this is what blush does. My face just looks like okay right now, like no makeup. And then wow. So yeah. You know what? We're just gonna go ahead and add the highlight now. So with the Super Shock cheeks, I usually use my finger, but I'm gonna try it with a brush first and see what it does, just because that's how I normally prefer to add my highlighter. But I will say I do know that sometimes it is better to go in with a finger, but I'm gonna try it first, and then if need be, I'll do it. Ooh, hold up. This is applying really beautifully with the brush, and I'm shocked. I'm really liking that. Well, dang, okay. So this is my side of the face when I've added the blush palette with the highlight, all 3 shades and the highlight. And then this side is without. This looks much more flat and one-dimensional. The power of makeup. All right, now I am going to add the products to the other side of my face and make my face match, and I will be right back. All right, so this is my face with the blush and highlighter palette on, and I am really enjoying this. I think that they were buildable. Be careful with this darker blush. It was a little bit on the powdery side, but I think the look that you're able to get is really, really beautiful. I love the combination of these shades. I will say, as I said before, like these 2 shades are very similar to each other, but they do have different finishes. So one is a matte and one is a shimmer. So you can kind of customize it the way you want, which I do appreciate because I love a glowier blush, but I know that some people are more matte blush people. So I get it, I do. So here is the look so far. I'm very, very happy. And let's move on to the pressed powder palettes. I'm gonna use a combination of the 2 today. I might use this one as like deepening up and then a liner. And then this one, obviously, because they're light browns, they're pretty easy as transition shades. So I think we're gonna start out with Cream Soda, which is the lighter of the 2. So first we're gonna go into Cream Soda, and I'm gonna take this light matte and just kind of use that as my setting my lid / transition shade. So I'm gonna take a big fluffy crease brush. This is a Luxie tapered blending brush, and I'm gonna go into that light matte shade. There's a lot of kick up in the pan, so just be aware of that. These are very powdery, but they're very blendable, supposedly. So let's see. That's a beautiful shade. It's actually a little bit darker than I thought, so that is actually a perfect transition shade for me. Now, the object of this is not to do something super dramatic today. I'm just doing something that kind of makes this palette shine a little bit. But to me, these palettes are more for like everyday natural glam. So I'm not gonna be going too overboard today with just color. I'm just gonna keep it very neutral, obviously, because these 2 palettes are just browns. But I think that is really, really pretty. And so far it's blending out just like any other Colourpop matte would, maybe even a little bit more blendable, honestly. It's one of the really, really good formulas from Colourpop. Sometimes they're kind of hit or miss, but most of the time they're really, really good. This is a really good one. I think it's blending really beautiful. It's not blending away, but it's diffusing really nicely and it's really soft. So I am enjoying that formula so far. Now I'm gonna take a little Farrah brush. It does not have a name. Oh wait. I'm gonna take a Farrah mini tapered blending brush, and I'm gonna go into that darker brown in the Cream Soda palette, and we'll see what that does. And again, very, very powdery. Again, with the kick up, there's a lot. So I think that's pretty much gonna be how it is just with this formula. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but some people don't like fallout like that in the pan. I personally don't mind that much. It just makes it really blendable, so sometimes those formulas are some of the best. And we're just deepening up that crease, kind of focusing this darker matte towards the outer V. We're just wanting a nice neutral gradient. Beautiful. All All right, now I'm gonna go over it again with that lighter shade just to buff it out a little bit. Just really want it to be soft glam. Nothing crazy, no harsh lines, which there weren't anyway, but I just like to do this, so let me do it. So I think that's good for the mattes in this palette. Now, technically you could stop here with the mattes, you could stop here in general, but I'm going to deepen it up just a little bit before we do the shimmers. So I'm gonna reach into Sparkler, which is that deeper palette, and I'm gonna add just a little baby bit of this darker matte shade to the outer V just to kind of amp it up a little bit because I really want that contrast. Now, if I really wanted to pack on the shade, I would go on with a more dense brush, but I don't want to add too much of it. I just want to deepen up this color just a baby bit. I don't know if I love the way it's blending right here. I guess you just have to really work for it. I don't know, I'm not used to that with these neutral shades from Colourpop. Okay, for some reason that one shade took a little bit more work. It was wanting to cling to my eyelid for a little bit, but I will say I don't have any eye primer on, so that could be the reason. I just forgot to put eye primer on. So silly me, oops. But I think this looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one. All right, so the mattes are done. I really do like how those worked together. I think this is a beautiful neutral matte look, which granted it's not anything crazy, but still sometimes those looks are the best. So before we add the shimmer, I'm going to add some glitter glue just to my lids because I know we're gonna have a super sparkly look. So I'm using the Kymo Cosmetics glitter adhesive, and I just put some on my fingertips and I'm kind of rubbing it like this, and then I'm gonna put it right on the lid. And this is just gonna help that shimmer adhere to the lid because it is a very glittery, intense shimmer. I feel like this will help. So I think I'm gonna go in with the lighter shimmers today. So I want to use these two right here. I do love the gold from the other one, but I'm feeling this rose gold kind of vibe today. So I'm gonna take this one right here and I'm gonna use my finger. So I feel like usually they work best with your finger, but look how intense that is, but you can kind of see the glitter flakes in there. That's why I wanted to go ahead and add the glitter glue. All right, so let's go ahead and try it. Ooh. That is really, really beautiful. That is gorgeous. It's very metallic looking, and I can absolutely see the glitter in there. Very, very pretty. This is going to be a great palette for every day. So here's the first shimmer shade, and now I'm going to add that lighter shimmer shade from the same palette, the cream soda one, and I'm just gonna put that towards the inner part of my eye. So I'm gonna use my pinky this time. This one's more metallic than glittery compared to the other shade. But I want to kind of have that light into the pink kind of gradient. Very, very pretty. It's just easier for me to get in there with my pinky because I want to control where I'm applying it. Ooh, that is super reflective. That's beautiful. I'm just gonna add a hair bit more of that pink just to kind of mesh the two together, make sure we don't lose that pink. This is a beautiful palette. I think that's really, really gorgeous. So I'm gonna take my Luxie blending brush and I'm just gonna kind of buff out around that shimmer. Minimal fallout on my cheek. I have a few pieces of glitter only on this side, but with a shade like this I was expecting some of that because there are some bigger chunks of glitter, and that could be another reason why these shades were considered not safe for the eye, because they do have chunks of glitter in them. So I would recommend, if you do use them with a glitter glue or a glitter primer, something like that, some sticky base to keep that glitter from falling. So as far as the look is. I really like it. Love the natural glam kind of vibe that we're getting right now. All right, so I do want to go ahead and try this other palette out and use this darker brown shade as a liner. So I'm going to take my Sigma Inner Corner E46 brush. I use this as a liner brush a lot. I know it says it's in their corner, but it's a great liner brush. It has a very small, thin applicator, or thin bristles. So I did knock off the excess because I don't want any random pieces going places that I don't want. And let's try it. So far, so good. Seems very pigmented and pretty easy to smoke out. I will say these are very powdery, so if you are going to use them as a liner, just be sure to knock off the excess before you do. I really like that. Okay. And I'm just kind of making it blend in with my lash line. I'm not really doing anything crazy. I just don't want it to just be a random line. So I want to drag it towards the inner part of my eye, but I'm going to kind of stop halfway. I'm not going to take it all the way. I might add just a very thin line in the inner part of my eye above my lash line, but nothing too crazy. I don't want the focus to be a winged liner. I want the focus to be the eyeshadow. But it's blending really nicely and smoking out really nicely too. All right, so here is the finished look with just the eyeshadows, and I will be adding mascara, don't you worry. But I did want to show you before I add my mascara to add to my lashes and complete the look. But so far, I'm really, really enjoying this. I think the look is very natural, neutral glam, but very shiny. Got a nice punch from that glitter, and I would absolutely wear this again. I don't think it's anything revolutionary because it's neutral. I mean, it's a neutral palette. How crazy can you get? But I think it's beautiful. I would wear this to a wedding. I would wear this to work. I would wear this to the grocery store. I would wear this anywhere. And I feel like it's a beautiful neutral glam. I feel like it makes me feel and look beautiful, and yeah. I like it. So let's go ahead and finish up this look with some lipstick and some mascara, and I'll be right back. We are back and the look is complete. I think the mascara and the lips really tie everything together. It looks like a normal look now. It looks complete. This looks absolutely stunning. I love the way that the glitter shifts. It's very natural, and I feel like it's not in your face, but it's beautiful. I think you could wear this anywhere. I think you could wear this in a business setting. I think you could wear this on a night out. You could even take, you could even make this even more dramatic by taking this darker brown and putting that in the outer V. That would really amp up the contrast of the look and take this from day to night. I think that having these shades actually work really, really well, because it's almost like if you put these two together, you have a neutral palette. So you have a pinky tone, you have a cream tone, you have a gold tone, you have a bronze, and you have 4 matte shades kind of going from lightest to darkest. I will say don't pinch your skin in the plastic when you're closing it, because that freaking hurts. But yeah, I think that would be an actually great 8-pan eyeshadow palette, but having them in quads, I can either just go for the light or just go for the dark, or I can mix the two. So I think that combo is perfect. Now, again, the blush palette, really, really enjoyed that. I think it was nice and buildable. I didn't have too much problem with it. I will say the first shade that I used, I had a little bit of, not patchiness, but it would catch on my foundation just a hair, but it blended out really, really well, especially when I added the other blushes to it. I have all 4 shades on my face today, so the highlighter looks very natural. It's not as blinding as some of the Super Shock shadows I have, but it applied really, really well, and I think with today's makeup trends, I think this is perfect to get a really, really blushy look with a natural looking highlight, because right now the trend is not to have blinding highlight, even though that's my personal style. But if you want a natural looking highlight, this is beautiful. It really is. I would personally amp it up just a tad with something else. But I could also wear this and be happy. I just, for my personal makeup taste, I would want this to be a little bit more intense. But the blushes, perfect. And I really like the formula of the Super Shock Cheeks, and that's the same formula right here. So I like it. I would just want a little bit more oomph for that highlighter. but everything else I really, really enjoy. And not to say that I don't enjoy the highlighter, that's just if I'm being really picky. That was that. This was me using these new Colourpop goodies. So the 2 palettes and the blush palette, or the face palette, whatever you want to call it. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Overall, I really enjoyed these products. I will say some shades were easier to blend than others, but for the most part, the mattes acted like normal Colourpop mattes. They are very blendable, very buildable, and very pigmented. I really did enjoy using these palettes, and I will continue to use these. I think they're beautiful for everyday wear. As I said, you can kind of go from day to night with these 2 palettes, and I'm glad I got 2 of them because the one on its own, I was almost gonna get cream soda and then leave it at that, but it would have been too light by itself. I would have wanted that extra little oomph from that, the extra little pop of intensity from the darker palette, so I'm glad I did get both, and I'm glad I got the blush palette. Honestly, I really do like the look. I think for traveling, it's gonna be wonderful. Yeah, I really do like the packaging of these new ones in the collection. I think they should continue with this clear plastic packaging. I think it looks very sleek, very beautiful. So overall, I'm very impressed. And for the price, I'm happy. I love Colourpop's formulas, and these did not disappoint. So that is all I have for you today. Please do remember to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you want to join this family here on YouTube. I am planning on doing this in the future, this like should I buy it kind of style video, just like mini reviews. So if you like this style of video, please do let me know down in the comments below. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and please do stay safe, happy, and healthy in this crazy time. And that's all I got. So I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.